Not sure if this will let me go. Nope, it's not gonna let me go horizontal. Sorry guys, I won't make it horizontal, so I'm gonna have to just deal with this. Anyway, tonight I'll be speaking to the council on an ordinance they passed and the reasoning for passing it. You'll probably hear it. Hopefully the sound's good, but I will make a video on this after today. I just need people in here to watch. I'm also gonna give them an option on whether they want a 1983 lawsuit or they want to sit down and talk about an issue that I have. It's gonna be a little bit. I just wanted to get it started early because actually it starts in 3 minutes, so I'll try to get up there and talk early. That way you guys don't have to sit in here too long. I just wanted to go live. That way I had everything on the record, and there's all my witnesses out there. I love you guys. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Be able to see the chat, but I can't. Hold on. Sorry, I'm discombobulated today, people. Been a rough one. Actually, here, I can see the chat. There we go. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I'm hoping you guys can hear this meeting when it takes off. Otherwise, I will, I'll definitely make a video about it. I'm here to redress some of my grievances with the city of Marshalltown and some of their stupid ordinances and how they actually voted on the last ordinance. One of the council members actually voted on the last ordinance because he didn't want to open a can of worms with the other councilors on the way they voted instead of going by the way he thought. He changed his vote. And it's over something stupid, so hopefully you guys can hear this. Yeah, Howard, I got a couple of issues I'm going to talk about. They only give you 3 minutes, and of course, well, some of you guys know I do have a brain injury, so it's hard for me to use descriptive words or go on a tangent like I wish I could. So I'm actually going to ask the mayor for a little extra time. I don't know if there's an ADA clause on that or not, but this town is it's a packing plant town, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they want this place to be like Hollywood, California, and this town's actually had 2 natural disasters in the last 5 years. A tornado that went right down Main Street and hit the poorest parts of town, and then we had the derecho that took out damn near the whole town. And these guys are acting like it's all healed up and it's just ridiculous. So I don't believe in the system, but I'm not going to just sit at home and complain on Facebook.
Can you hear us, Barry?
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Okay, thanks. So let's get started. Welcome, folks. Tonight is it's 5:30 p.m. City Council Chambers of 10 West State Street. The date is December 9, 2004. I call the meeting to order and invite those to stand for the pledge.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll.
Fonseca? Here. Kell?
Here.
Ladioff?
Here.
Mitchell?
Here.
Nichols?
Here.
Schneider?
Here.
Thompson?
Here. Very good. Public comment time. Members of the public may make comments on any item that was not on the agenda at this time. Approach the mic, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes unless I authorize longer. Direct your comments to the mayor and council as a whole, and we, the councilors and mayors, should not engage in discussion or debate on items raised at this time in order not to fail to comply with the public open meetings laws. With that said, the microphone is open.
I'm going to exercise my Fourth Amendment right not to give my name or address, and I'm also going to redress my grievances with my government. That is my right under the United States Constitution. I also want to let you know that I have a brain injury and I'm going to ask for extra time. I'm going by the Constitution, not your rules, sir. Okay, I didn't prepare this speech, but a couple council meetings ago, I watched you guys debate this gravel thing. And frankly, it disgusted me. You guys basically said, we don't trust our constituents to do the right thing. We don't know if they're gonna weed eat it. We don't know if there's gonna be weeds. You guys forgot who elected you into this position? Have you guys driven around town in the summertime and looked at the city property? Seriously? And then one of you was even swayed because the other councilors were going to vote a certain way. You just didn't want to cause a rift between council members. What about the people? There was only maybe 2 people up here that actually stood for the citizens. This town's been through hell in the last 5 years. And the people here are not healed. And every time you put more restrictions on them and cost them more money, all it does is opens that wound a little bit farther. You guys want to compare this town with other towns. Well, this town is not other towns. And it's not going to be for a long time. Now you guys are voted in to work for the citizens. And I hope you're paying attention instead of looking for the rule on whether I need to say my name or not. I wasn't going to come in here on a tangent, but that really ticked me off. Okay, we got these ordinances that you guys say might be abused or we can't trust the citizens. How many parking tickets do we write every year? Is that ordinance abused? Well, it creates a lot of money. So we're not gonna do away with alternate parking because people abuse it? We're talking about parking in your own property, your own yard in the United States of America. Do we truly own anything in here anymore? Honestly? Try not paying your property taxes. That house you got paid off, it's not yours. Give the people a break. The only people that can afford to put a concrete pad in this town are the people with a lot of money. And some of these people lost everything twice in 5 years. And they're trying to rebuild. And you guys, I don't know where you think these guys are getting their money. You go look for anything they give away free here in town, there's a line a mile long because they don't have much. But now you're gonna tell them where they can and can't park on their own yard. And you guys were going down to the foot and inches. That's tyranny. That's not owning any. This is the United States of America. You guys work for the people. In my opinion, that whole thing should be lower than this crowd out here. I see people come up here nervous to speak to you guys. They shouldn't be that way. You guys should be nervous when we come up here. Because it's our job to hold you guys accountable. And I'm gonna tell the people out there, it doesn't do any good to get on Facebook the day after or when all this is done and sit on the toilet and complain. Because that doesn't do anything. You guys gotta get your butts in here and hold these guys accountable and make sure they're doing the job you elected them to do. In my opinion, we should be having these meetings over in the roundhouse. There should be so many people here. And if all the people that complain on Facebook would get in here and make sure you're doing the right thing, then you have no reason to complain.
I've let you exceed your 3-minute limit, sir.
Appreciate that. But thank you.
Would anyone else like to approach the mic? Okay. Time for council, administrator, and mayor comments. Let's go with council first.
North Main? Yeah, I would like to, I should have did this last time. This was an annual Blair's Heart of Gold. He's been giving back every year since the tornado, collecting toys for children in Marshalltown. And it was several businesses, 3 of them that I know for sure, Carl's, Butter Consulting, and Mama DeGrado's, and there was several more, and it was definitely a success. There was thousands of dollars in toys that were collected, so I should have did this earlier and got the name out. Next year I will. Secondly, I'd like to thank one of our young local business people, Raleigh Danner from Mama DeGrado's. He's going to take over the Legion Post 46. So I just would like to kudos out to being a young businessman in Marshalltown. Maybe we can all get on our bicycles and ride over to 46 and maybe even take it on down to Mama DeGrado's. But support Mama DeGrado's and League 46, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. No comments. I guess I'd like to thank Mike Ladoff for covering for me for the 2 meetings when we were out of the
Notice
state.
they won't say anything else.
And depending on
That'll be the
what
end.
our next meeting is, you may have to cover for another one yet this month, so thanks, Mike. Let's go on to ask for approval of the consent agenda. We had somebody pull item 6 from that, so minus item 6, does anybody move to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve, Your Honor.
Second. Roll call.
Mitchell? Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Fonseca? Yes. Kell?
Yes.
Bodyhoff?
Yes. Very good. That covers that. That carried, and then read item 6 for us, if you would.
Resolution 2024-271, approving an amended public service agreement with Marshall Cemetery Association, DBA Riverside Cemetery.
Move to approve, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is there a second? Very good. Councilman.
Yeah, I asked to pull this just because it was on the consent agenda and I thought there'd be a lot of people maybe interested in it. This is with the lake at Riverside Cemetery. We had pledged, I think, $45,000 to help build a well, but I know they couldn't, and I was just wondering if staff or the cemetery would like to tell the public what the plan is now.
Happy to do so. Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you for the opportunity to speak in front of you this afternoon or this evening. My name is Deirdre Grundler. I'm the interim general manager at Riverside Cemetery. Also sit on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Riverside Cemetery is a 501c13 nonprofit perpetual care cemetery in Marshalltown. We've been in continuous operation since 1863. As part of my interim contract, I've been charged with finding our new general manager, as well as leading some progress on some important projects, and this is one of those important projects. Lake Woodmere is an artificially created water body that's been in place for 120 years. In that time, it's been a habitat for native wildlife, as well as for well-loved domesticated birds. It provides for moments of reflection, artistic expression, and family memories. It has even made Riverside Cemetery and Marshalltown notable as far away as Norway and New Zealand. In 2002, as Jeff said, Riverside Cemetery was notified by Marshalltown Waterworks that our previous agreement regarding filling Lake Woodmere was going to be discontinued. This change represented a significant financial impact. At that time, we approached the city of Marshalltown with a possible solution in mind. Together, we created an agreement for public services that was brought to the city council for approval. That was approved by the council on October 24th of 2022. The city did agree to fund up to $45,000 in local option sales tax towards the construction of a permanent well. After receiving the financial commitment by the city, we began the regulatory process with the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. At that point, we learned that a well was not permittable. The best solution is to install a permanent line from the Iowa River to Lake Woodmere that would allow us to fill the pond on demand. The estimated cost to install that pipeline line is $100,000 to $110,000 in total. We are asking for the city for a simple amendment to our original agreement from a focus on the well to focus on the pipeline itself. We're not seeking an increase in funding from the city. The goal for the overall project remains the same, to continue to fill the lake with water so that it can contribute to all of our benefits and both for the purposes that the cemetery was initially created as well as the way it's used as a park area today. Happy to take any questions and have several board members with me this evening as well.
Thank you, Deirdre. Any questions or comments for the council first? Any public comment? I'd like to thank you for your work with the Hospital Foundation and then being the interim person for the Animal Rescue League as well.
Thank you.
And have to admit, when our daughters were young, we went to the cemetery constantly.
Yeah.
Any public comment? Let's call the roll.
Nichols,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Fonseca, yes, Kell,
Yes.
Ladioff,
Yes.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Susan. And the board and you don't feel like you have to stick around once, or your business is concerned, you can leave and nobody questions.
Thank you.
And you're welcome to stay, it's so much fun here.
I got planning and zoning, I'll look out for that.
Yeah, I meant to add that to the things, planning and zoning too. All right, on to reports. We have one report tonight, the Impact Quarterly Update Report.
Good evening, David Hicks, ISS of Marshall County. All right, come on. Two is better than one. Sure. Want to do instead of a quarterly report, just kind of a year-to-date report. So Susie and our partner Tiffany have responded to 245 calls for service. In addition, 1,056 follow-up visits with over 2,000 people. Comparing that to data last year, it's about 117 less calls we've responded to this year, but they've done over 550 more follow-up visits. So we're starting to see that scale tip to, if we can get out ahead of some things, we can have those less frequent calls coming into impact. So certainly pleased with the performance of our impact advocates. Of those 245 calls so far this year, this is just through November, 30% involved the homeless, 18% mental health, 16% juvenile issues, and amongst that, substance abuse or co-occurring disorder about 25% of the time. So 64% of those calls vacant homeless, mental health, and juvenile issues. I've always wanted to bring up somebody who's maybe been involved with Impact as a service recipient. It's hard to do sometimes to have somebody come up here and talk about what they've gone through. But Susie was sent a text today, and I initially was going to read this, but Susie, I'm gonna have you read this, or at least try to. This is due to your hard work, and I'm certainly not gonna take any glory or effort away from you. So I copied that text here, but I'm gonna have you read it. This is your work. Just that paragraph. Just that paragraph.
I didn't want to go to a mental health hospital, but I'm so glad you talked me into committing. You're the angel that was sent to me to wake me the hell up. My suicidal threats were nothing more than a cry for help, and I'm thankful it was you who came. I should have done this a long time ago. Today I feel amazing. They have me on a whole new regimen of meds. I haven't felt this good in my own head for probably 15 years, to be honest. So far, so good, and I'll take it one day at a time.
So that's just kind of a snippet of a frequent caller who would call the police with some mental health issues. Susie, and I certainly don't want to exclude Tiffany, just do excellent work getting people services at the right time in the right place, especially a significant mental health issue where they're constantly calling the police. We felt this intervention was pretty powerful, and this is really an unsolicited text that they sent Susie, just that they're doing pretty darn good. So happy to entertain any questions. You can certainly ask Susie direct questions as well. I get to be the face of Impact, but we know who the real rock stars are around here.
Didn't I see that you were invited recently to go to some national?
Yes, so Impact has been invited to present to CoreCon, which is the National Co-Responder Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll be presenting with Dr. Wendy Ringenberg, who's been researching Impact the last 3 or 4 months. In fact, you all were probably interviewed by Wendy. There's been very few research done on the effectiveness or the outcomes of co-responder programs, let alone one in a rural part of the country. So our presentation is assessment and evaluation of a rural co-responder program. So super proud that they invited us to come down and speak. They can't get this data from Dallas, Denver, all those bigger cities. So Marshalltown is happy to be there. So very flattered that they would want Impact to come down and present to a national conference of other co-responders across the country.
Can you tell us who else is going to be presenting down there, so we know who Marshalltown's in the mix with?
I haven't seen the full list, but it's folks from all over the country, larger cities, of course. Very few communities, of a rural nature, which is why they're probably wanting us to present. There's just co-responder programs springing up all over the country. We're a little bit ahead of the game, and I think our expertise can help out others across the country in communities our size and larger to do a good job.
I think some of the cities are New York, Chicago.
Yeah, Dallas, Miami, Denver.
Something, and Marshalltown.
I don't think any of this stuff interests you guys, so I'm gonna shut it off for now. I'll do a follow-up. Thanks for joining me, guys.
I don't know. I guess this is the public invitation for Chief Tepper to join us.
You and the reports you've been giving, that you guys are getting calls all the time from other cities our size and
Yeah.
larger and smaller.
Yeah, this is a pretty powerful thing we're working on here, so happy to be part of it.
Your Honor, if I may.
You may-
Hey, Dave, you said there's fewer